Hey everybody, so this is going to be a quick update to some stuff going up on Sparkswap. Yes, I know I just did a video 2 days ago, but they have so much going on right now. They're working on adding so many different things that it was time to do another quick update video. Yeah, I'm still going live with Splinterlands pretty soon. Don't forget that I am a Splinterlands guy, so that's what my live show is about and my other videos. But hey, Hexicans who are on Pulse, I'm going to be covering Sparkswap and a lot of the protocols that partner with it because I trust that team and the partnerships that they go into. So we go to the Sparkswap site. You can see here I've got some pretty good yields of 64 tokens. This is just in 3 days or 2.5 days since I came here. And one little thing I forgot to mention in my last video, I did do my first 533 Spark Max stake, so that's I am part of that 3650 squad now. I got into this a little bit late. We had a pretty good payout today, so we got a lot of these earnings coming up. We can see this one is almost a little bit less than halfway to ROIing this first one on how much of it I've been earned, being worth more than the Spark that is staked. Yeah, there's some price volatility. Some of these were staked when the coin was a little bit more valuable, so you know these earnings would have to go higher, but theoretically, as long as this site is around, I'll continue to earn, and this 105% and staking in here is kind of the key to doing well on Sparkswap. But the big news is the bridge has had the upgrade, adding Arbitrum and pulsechain. Okay, they already had Pulse to BSC. The big add-on here is you can now move DAI. So you can move DAI over. They're calling it SDAI. This is for literally Sparkswap DAI or it's something else, but it's going to be fully collateralized. They'll hold on to the DAI. It is going to be collateralized on their bridge. Anytime you're bridging tokens over, you have to have just be aware there's some risk there in holding tokens like SDAI because it is a bridge. Now EMP is really good. They haven't had any hacks on their original protocol. It's been around for a long time. They took a lot of work on this bridge to make sure it could be as secure as possible, but I can't not mention it a tiny bit. But okay, so now you can move DAI back and forth, whether you're going from pulsechain to BNB or if you're going from BSC to Pulse. I don't have any DAI in my wallet right now, so that's why you didn't see that. But the big news here, that is a big difference here, and I'm going to have to go on here really quick and switch over to Arbitrum, even though I don't have any Arbitrum, is that you can now also go from the Arbitrum network. Now, the only token that they're supporting right now from the Arbitrum is this USDEX. This is basically a stable token that has to do with USDC-backed stablecoin over on the Arbitrum network. So basically, you can move over this USDEX, which is basically USDC on Arbitrum, is what this is. And you can move that back and forth. As you can see, if you click here the other way, I'm going to switch my network back over to pulsechain. That way I'm back on my pulsechain wallet like I wanted. And bam, I can move over this back and forth. So now they have a nice bridge option using stable coins. Their bridge, if it wasn't really something a lot of you were looking at before, it might have been because of the fact that they were only doing EMP, moving it back and forth. That was kind of for the EMP finance team, giving their token some utility for people who wanted to bridge, putting some buying pressure on it, and creating an arbitrage pair for their own token. It made a lot of sense for their own project to do that. But now they understand that some people, when they're bridging funds around, they want to move over stable coins. And we always know that stablecoin farms on new chains sometimes are a little bit more juicier than stablecoin farms on other chains. Of course, there is inherent risk sometimes with new chains having issues or kind of getting abandoned. So just be ready for this. I don't think pulsechain will be abandoned though, because the Hexicans are not really going anywhere, and I just see things growing over here. All right, let's go ahead and get into the farms and talk about what has changed there in just the last few days. Now, I just showed you the other day when I had to migrate my EMP ETH farm and I got into the Spark Goat farm. Yes, I have earned $3.56 on a $200 investment in about 2.5 days. So that's not bad at all. And do remember, if you want to get into Spark Goat, I'll be doing a full breakdown on the Goat tutorial, Goat token pretty soon, so you can fully understand it. I kind of introed it in the last video. But basically this is a big old 205%. I don't even know if I want to push you guys into adding into this liquidity because I'm loving this returns, but at the same time it's an opportunity that's pretty big, so I want to teach you about it. And right now the normal with fees to get into these pools are waived for this one because of the migration. Same thing for this one here. Again, that's not bad for but is kind of an ETH pair, but maybe I'll talk more about that later. The star of the show today is the changeover that's going on right now within these pools. So they had a DAI USDC pool. This one, as you can see, is down to 11.4%. This used to be doing better. And this is somewhere where I had my liquidity, but I get to now withdraw this liquidity for free and harvest these last little few tokens because they are sunsetting this LP. They're not going to be supporting it anymore and rewarding it. They are now going to be doing these two stable pairs. This is the SDAI paired with DAI. So this one right here was DAI and USDC. I have DAI, so I probably am just going to go into this one, even though this one's paying a little bit more. Just because with this one, I have to basically pair together two bridged versions of these tokens. I'll get a better return, as you can see. But the other thing about these, to tell you about, these are V2 pairs. This is growing liquidity on their own DEX for these stable coins, and having, you know, people are going to be swapping in and out of these just to help create, you know, grow their farms and whatnot. And the more V2 farms that they have, as they have these two here and these two here, that are not like these ones that are living on the PulseX ecosystem, is doing two things for Sparkswap. One of the criticisms for them is they sell the ink token to help up these APRs. People don't love that they're constantly selling ink token within the Hex community and the pulsechain community. I can kind of understand that, but that is just a temporary thing while they are building up their own liquidity, becoming their own DEX, and then they will move these farms all over to being V2 farms. That's the long play here that's going on. But as you can see, to help kind of bootstrap liquidity and get people to bring over dollars here to make their bridging more robust, they're going to be offering right now 100% on this USDC EX and SDAI farm and this SDAI DAI farm. Now this earning percentage has to do with how much money is in the pool. You can see I have 190,000 here, 144,000 here. These will probably even out over time, which is why I might just go into this one here and just do a DAI pool. But it's one of those things where you'll have to decide which one of these if you want to go into. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be removing all of my LP. So I'll be confirming that off to the side. Hopefully my kids are screaming in the background, but I don't think you can hear that. My mic is pretty good at only picking up me. All right, let's see there. This is still pending, so we'll wait a moment. All right, that went through. So now I don't have any liquidity in here. I didn't have to pay the 2% fee there, and I pulled my money out because there's no real reason to leave it in here anymore. If I was looking to do stablecoin farming, I needed to get into this one. So now I'm going to need to go over here to trade and liquidity, and I'm going to need to unpair my liquidity. Now you can see my main liquidity, USDC and DAI, was on the regular liquidity farm. So there's my 190-ish dollars. So we're going to remove 100% of that. We're going to approve this. We're going to hit next. We're going to get that approval in. Got to wait for that to go through, and then I'll get the remove here. Pulsechain is pretty fast. I wouldn't say it's the fastest network out there. It is very similar to other layer 2s. It is very cheap though to move on right now, and as you can see, it doesn't take too long. All right, we'll go ahead and do that remove. And then we're going to wait for this to go through. Now, once that goes through, I will have basically DAI and USDC in my wallet. But I need SDAI to pair with my DAI. So this is one of those things where I'm going to have to kind of figure out what is actually the best way for me to do this, because there is going to possibly be some slippage if you are somebody with more money than me. Now, I only had a little under $200 in this stablecoin farm, and I was building this up over time by adding more into it when I occasionally took a little bit of profit into stablecoins out of this project, but to each their own. Okay, so this went through. If I go into my tokens now, I should see, oh, I don't have those currently in my wallet. That's not great. That's my fault. So let's go ahead and go back to here. And now we're going to go to swap v2. Now I'm going to click here, and I'm going to see that what is currently supported on swap v2 is DAI to SDAI. So the first step for me to do here is to go swap my USDC into DAI. So I need to go to regular swap, because regular swap will have my USDC. So there's my USDC, $96. And now I have a little extra DAI because I had like $6 in DAI on there for some my last time I took a little bit of profit. So we're going to do a max. We're going to swap this into that. Again, that'll just take a few moments for that swap to go through. Yep, look at me there with my 5 million PLS. It's not very much, but being involved in this project is helping me build up that PLS, and hopefully over time, you know, we can see this thing really take off and go through. Let's see. Oh, swap is still pending. Wait for this to go through. When I swap it to SDAI, I'll probably err on the side of getting a little bit more SDAI, because I can always easily sell some of my Spark into DAI without having to worry about it, because there's pairs for that. But I don't know for sure. Well, I don't know what would be easier to pick up. Oh, that swap is taking a minute for some reason. Oh, no, it went through. It just took a minute for the site to update. I was going to say that took longer than normal. Okay, so we now have our DAI. We have $196 worth. Now we have to go over here to swap v2, and we have to go from DAI to SDAI. Now, really, it'd be nice here if I could just do a half button, but let's see, we have $96, so it'd be $98 in theory. Oh, let me go ahead and do an approval on DAI really quick. Do that off screen. So while that approval is going through here, I'll see. So there is a 1% fee on this right now. So the slippage that I'm hitting is not too terrible. My price impact is only 0.10%, but there is a $1 fee. So I'm going to up this to $100. That way I'm going to end up with, like I said, slightly more SDAI than DAI, but I can get a few extra dollars and balance that out the next time I pull some profit, because I'll be left with about 96. Well, let's try to even it out a little bit more. We'll go 99. That'll leave me with about 97 and 97, it looks like. So we'll go ahead and do the swap. Now, normally I would say that these kind of like little bit of losses, as you've seen me be going through here, on taking a little bit of slippage going from USDC into DAI, going from DAI into SDAI, would be a little bit annoying. But the plain fact of the matter here is that I'm going into a stablecoin farm paying out 80%. That is probably going to be paying out 40 to 60% in the near future. And because I had to pay these fees and deal with this, maybe for just a little while, I'll drive some of that money into that farm, because they want to add more liquidity into it, and it will help me recover those losses, which, you know, is one of the things they say that you can do, even though this place is definitely not about shaming you at all for selling. Okay, now, because this is a V2 pair, we need to do V2 liquidity, not regular liquidity. So we're going to add our liquidity. We're going to go DAI. We're going to go SDAI. So we're going to hit max here. Yep, that worked. So all of our DAI, we're just going to have a tiny bit of SDAI left. We got to do one more approval. We'll get that through here. There's a lot of noise in the background. I'm going to have to go talk to them in a minute because it's a little bit distracting. They're being super loud out there. But this should go through without too much trouble. And then we will supply our liquidity. Now, again, the procedure here for going into the USDC version of the Arbitrum USDC would have been similar. It's just on the swap v2, I would have been going from DAI to that other coin. I could have looked at it to see if there was a little less slippage there, but this is just what I decided to do. All right, now we're going to go over to the farms. Another thing to note, once we approve this farm, actually, while it's approving, I'll be able to show you. Put those approvals through. There is no deposit fee. So for those of us that were already into their stablecoin farm, no fees to take your money out, no fees to go into either of the new ones. So you want to make sure you do this while they're taking advantage of this. If you forget about it, don't see it very soon. Sorry, when you come to do this, there's those 2% fees could be back on there. And then there's like a 4% loss. Given they're not going to immediately shut this one down, but they're looking to shut it down relatively soon. We're going to stake. We're going to hit max. We're going to confirm. Now I think I had, you could look back on the video. I had like $6 extra sitting in my wallet. I had like about 192, 193. So I was coming up on $200 that was going to be inside this farm. When I move it over here, I think we're going to have about like a little bit more than I had here because of that original $6 I had. And you'll see I won't have lost like even $6 and moving over here. Yeah, we're at 195. So yeah, we spent a few dollars to move into this farm. They're going to completely understand if I decide that I'd rather move some of my profits into this farm over the next couple days. But again, you know, things are popping off over here. The GOAT token is doing great within its farm. EMP is doing good within its farm. They've got stablecoin farms now. They've got the bridges growing. And they have their partnership with L1 Dex that is going to eventually bring even more interoperability into the Pulse chain. So make sure you check out Sparkswap. They have a lot of great things going on. If you have money on Pulse chain and you're not looking into these places, almost all of these APRs are going to be higher than your typical APR that you're going to see on some of the other farms out there that are by a trusted name, because this is by the EMP finance team. They are Doc's team. AJ Brockman, who is quite a famous person within the crypto world, is the leader of these projects, and I feel comfortable saying that he doesn't seem like he's going to scam us. Now, I'm not him. I can't know everything that is in anybody's mind, but I trust AJ. So take that for what you want to take it for, but don't take it for everything. Thanks, everyone. Bye.